Here is the painting I did the other day, and it's posted on YouTube, called The Dance. It's been a big success. I sold it within a day, and I am doing a Lazy Susan to go in the dining room where this painting will be. I just wanted you to see it so you could know my color inspiration. I'm starting with an 18-inch MDF board that is 3/4 of an inch thick, and it was painted with another color theme, and the owner, the one that commissioned it, she bought the Dance, the black painting with all the colors on it, and she wanted the Lazy Susan to match. So I've lightly just put a regular coat of black paint. I didn't do it fully because it's going to be covered with paint again, but it's underneath all my colors here. I have it on top of some little bathroom cups just to lift it off the table so that I can get my fingers around it. And all of my paints are mixed 50-50 with Floetrol. Flood is the brand. Floetrol latex based, which means water based only. Do not get the Floetrol that is oil based. This is for water based paint. So Floetrol is I put it in a squirt bottle. It just makes it easier to pour into smaller cups. So I use squirt bottles a lot. If I want to mix up a lot of paint and keep it stored, that's the way I do it. I have a little squirt bottle with water, so I can use that. I use treadmill lubricant. This is a mess, but it's just 100% silicone. I ordered it online for very little money. It's like WD-40 or liquid wrench, those type of sprays. I like the liquid drops instead. So I've mixed up, I had colors already made up, and I mixed up a few more. I'm going to go around and tell you every color I've got. These are DecoArt Americana paints. So the first one is Teal Mint. This is Cobalt Teal Hue, which is like a turquoise color. Bright Blue in this small cup here, that's bright blue. Ultra Blue Deep. Grape Juice is in the purple bottle. I typically love the dioxazine purple, but I wanted a purple that's a little brighter, so that is Grape Juice. This is Sizzling Pink, which is in the neon colors. That is Rose Gold, which is a metallic. In the bottle is just regular gold. In this bottle is Raw Sienna. In this bottle is Primary Magenta. In this red bottle is Pie Roll Red. Orange Flame is this. This is Espresso. This is Sea Breeze with a lot of white added to it. I wanted it to be a very pale mint green, which is in her rugs. I did not use it with the Dance painting, but I'm going to incorporate just a bit of it into this Lazy Susan. Those are the colors. This is Lamp Black and Titanium White. Titanium White is the brightest white in the white family. And everything is mixed 50-50 with Floetrol. I do not add silicone to black and white. If I do any heating, it will be with my heat gun. I got this at a hardware store for about $20. It's 1500 watts. It's not super hot. It doesn't set things on fire or melt things unless you just put it right on top of it. This is what I use to pop bubbles and to bring out cells. I'm going to move these bottles off of the Lazy Susan. And I am going to try to use all these colors, but that's a lot of colors for this. But that is what is in the Dance painting that I'm trying to, I may not use the rose gold, but I'm trying to incorporate all those colors. Okay, and these last four that I did not have already mixed up. I'm going to add my silicone to. So it's about 2 drops for about 3 ounces of paint. I'm not stirring it a ton, I'm just giving it a little bit of a stir. Okay, so those are the final colors. 50-50 Floetrol. I do add water if, when you mix it with the 50-50 and it pours off your stick and it's not pouring off your stick in a steady stream, then you need to add just a little bit of water to help it flow. But you should not use a whole lot of water. Or I don't use a whole lot of water. There are no rules. You have to find the recipe and the feel of the paint that works for you the best. Now, with the painting the dance that I showed at the beginning, I used a large tool with a handle. It's a troweling tool to use that on the large painting. With this only being 19 inches, that will be way too big. I do have a scraper, a plastic scraper, a very small plastic scraper, and an Ollie's card. It's just an old card for a store for membership or something. Credit cards are good for swiping in smaller controlled areas. If I decide to do any of the little grooved look, this is a little tool that I got that will help with that. I don't have a palette knife around, but this is a butter knife that I use as well. So that's, you know, if you need to do edges, or most of the time I use my fingers. Sometimes I blow through a straw, and if I want to control just a line or so, I use a skewer. You could use a toothpick or anything. Okay. Now, I'm trying to decide what way I want to go with this. The dance painting, I did not do a flip cup. I squirted out the colors with a bottle of paint, the different colors, and I believe that's what I'm going to do again instead of doing a flip cup. So we're going to experiment, and if it doesn't look right, I'll wipe it off and start all over. So first of all, just like I did with my painting, I started out with a wet coat of the black. Now this is thicker than I started on the painting with. I'm going to rinse this off. I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes to allow it a chance to start setting up and drying just a little bit, since it is thicker. I've been asked if I've ever used resin, and I had not until yesterday. This was a purple Lazy Susan that I did probably a week or two ago, and I just now got around to putting resin on it. It turned out gorgeous. Resin it is by far the most beautiful effect that you can put over your painted acrylic pours. The only problem is it is a huge mess I have sticky resin all over my tabletop on my butcher paper. I mean, it dries instantly, not instantly, it dries fairly quickly and it turns into like a heavy plastic glass feel. It looks beautiful and it adds more depth than any polyurethane or spray polyurethane could add. It's really beautiful and I understand why people use it. I did this one and I did another one, and the other one I have some craters in it, and I'm sure it must have had something to do with the silicone that I did not fully get wiped off of the Lazy Susan. So I'm going to have to, I guess, re-pour that resin, but I do not like using resin. You know, I didn't really smell any hard chemicals. You know, it didn't have a huge smell, even though it calls for a lot of ventilation and things like that. But oh, the mess was just tremendous. I had sticky gloves. Everything I touched, it stuck to. I tried to put plastic over it to keep any dust particles, and the plastic landed in the resin, which fortunately it was early enough on that the resin still settled. But it is beautiful. You know, I think it's gorgeous, and I commend people that use resin. I don't believe I'll be using it again. It's beautiful even on the swiper thing. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background. She's very talkative today. If you're not sure about something and you kind of want to cover it up, just go back over it with the black. trying to make sure the colors that I have going up to the edges continue down over the sides of the painting. Now, I'm not crazy about my little flame looking things I was trying to add. They were supposed to be really small, they grew. So I'm going to come back with black. Since the paint is kind of thick, I've got to get it back into the areas where I scraped it down to the original color. This area is a little thin looking. I'm not crazy about it. So I'm going to go back in and swipe again in this area. Yeah, I typically use white or black, but you can use virtually any color to swipe with. If, you know, silicone is going to create the cells. I don't know if I mentioned, I love the turquoise color with the reds and oranges together. I love that part. When I do that too, it's very lightly. I'm not scraping hard on that. Sometimes if you drip, you can just put your fingertip in to remove whatever you dripped, and it'll kind of, you know, bring the surrounding paint colors and all those little cells, it brings it back, they float back in and level in. That looks pretty close to the dance, the painting I did called the dance. The only thing I do not have on it is the metallic gold, which I did have in the other. So here I'm just adding the accent of gold. Sometimes you can just move the paint just very slightly into the colors beside it, and it'll kind of cell up a little bit just to make it look like it was meant to be, even though I really added it after the fact. Kind of wanted some cells in this golden black, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to do it. I may not have had enough silicone. My black is kind of thick. It's doing it a little bit, but okay. I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. I think it has a little bit of everything that she wanted. I didn't use a lot of this, which isn't a rug, but you've got the deeper teal, which makes more of an impact. All right. Am I done? Am I done? think I am. Just trying to decide if I want to add anything else. I'm done. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will be doing a lot more videos for your viewing pleasure. Thank you. Thought I'd bring you down and just give you a close-up. Some of the colors are all blended together, and then I left some on top. And over time it'll dry, but you want some of that bold color to remain on top and not blend in and everything be cells, even though I absolutely love cells. And some people are not as crazy about them, but I think they're gorgeous. It's just beautiful to me. All right. Thought I'd bring you down and just give you a close-up. Some of the colors are all blended together, and then I left some on top. And over time it'll dry, but you want some of that bold color to remain on top and not blend in and everything be cells, even though I absolutely love cells. And some people are not as crazy about them, but I think they're gorgeous. It's just beautiful to me. All right.